Come on in, pull up a chair, and take a load off. So, the Daily Dope is in the air. Kick back. We'll get started right after this. Howdy, 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 gang. Yes, welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host here at The Daily Dope, presented by thegaminggang.com, of which I happen to be the Grand Poobah. So if this is your first time joining me, welcome aboard. Thank you very much for taking some time to check out the show. If you are somebody who is a longtime viewer, hanging out watching once again, thank you for that too. Thanks for putting up with my nonsense on a nightly, well, not every night, but 4 times out of 7 a week. Tonight is Tuesday, October 27th, 2020. This is episode 562 of The Daily Dope. So, do want to say, if you like this video, be sure, give it a quick thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and if you do subscribe, ding that bell. It'll not only tell you when the Daily Dope streams live, Monday through Thursday nights, right here on YouTube. It'll also tell you when I upload other videos as well, such as my Kickstarter preview of the Varia first-person card game, which will be up a little later on tonight. So we shall see. You shall see what this is like. Gotta be honest, this Kickstarter is almost over, and I had zoned out on it. See, that's what happens when I don't take payment to do Kickstarter previews and stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. Anyway, I do want to point out this is a very casual show. It's not rocket surgery, just hanging out, talking about tabletop gaming. For the most part, what's new, what's exciting, what's on the horizon. You know, the news, the Daily Dope. Because this is a live stream, do want to point out chat is available. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay, but it is there. I do try my best to pay attention. Sometimes it zips by pretty quick. But if you want to say howdy, or maybe you've got a question, a comment, by all means, fire away. I will do my best to reply. So, chat is off and running already. Dan from No Enemies here was first out the gate in chat saying howdy. We also got Flaming Huron, John Vogel, Brian Gronberg, the madman's in the house. So is Viper Dave. Viper Dave is early. Actually, Viper Dave is here. I guess that means I got to wrap up the show. Viper tends to catch, you know, it's kind of funny. Viper has this, like, maybe it's some sort of psychic ability, but a lot of times Viper Dave pops in just as the news has ended. And, you know, usually we hang out for a little bit, talk about other stuff, outside of just the gaming news. But yeah, it's kind of funny. Viper Dave's like, see ya. No, you could stay. I'm just pointing out that usually you pop in towards the end of the show. Viper Dave says I'm just slow. Oh, I don't know about that. I doubt that. All right. Anyway. So, got a good bit of news for tonight. Before I jump into the news, though, do want to mention before anybody mentions the Bears game last night. Yes, I did witness that. Yikes. What the hell? What is it from? Gosh, and it was just on the tip of my tongue and I forgot. From the IT crowd. Ludicrous display. There we go. Yes, I did see that ludicrous display last night. But, it was kind of funny. I predicted that. So So I told just about everybody I know that the Bears quarterback was going to be running for his life. And he was. So a great A's here in chat. Cameron F is in chat as well. Other thing I do want to mention before I jump into the news, if you live in the United States, a week from today is election day. I'm not telling you who to vote for. Please vote if you are eligible to vote. If you're 12 years old, don't bother. Don't go to the polling place. They're not going to let you vote. But if you are registered, if you are eligible, by all means, do your civic duty. I know a lot of people out there think their vote doesn't count, but the problem is, if enough people think that, then other people's votes count more than theirs because they voted and other people did not. So I'm just saying, hey, get out there, vote, do your civic duty. And of course, if you're elsewhere in the world and you hopefully live in a nation that does have elections, free elections, hopefully, I hope you vote as well. So Flaming Huron points, I'm sorry, it was Dan from No Enemies Here, says, I don't live in the States. I know that, Dan. That's why I threw that little disclaimer in at the end. So I don't know. I find it amazing. The reason why I bring this up is I was talking to my mom, and, my mom's in her late 70s, right? And one of her friends, now my mom lives in the Chicagoland area. She lives not far, but from both myself and as well as my brother and his wife. So she was talking about one of her friends from Arizona who now lives in Ohio, who is also in her late 70s and had never voted once. Never voted once. And to me, I said to my mom, I said, I know XYZ, right? The person. I said, I seem to recall her complaining about, things going on in the world. So a lot of people are saying they already voted. So Brian and the Madman, as well as, who was it? Who else just said they voted? Oh, John Vogel. Thanks. There we go. All right. So very cool. Nice. I am actually going to go on election day. So not that I think, anybody can mess with my mail-in ballot or early ballot. I just like going on election day. Maybe I'll wrap myself in an American flag. No. That'd be too silly. All right, what say you we jump on into the news, because coming in November is Aquatica. It is from Arcane Wonders. I've got the dope. Aquatica is a deep but easy to learn family engine builder about underwater kingdoms. In the game, you'll become one of the mighty ocean kings. Not queen? There aren't any queens? Struggling to bring glory to his realm. To win the game, you need to capture and buy locations, recruit new characters, and complete goals. Each of these actions gives you victory points at the end of the game. To do so, you need to play cards from your hand, each with a unique set of actions, and combine them. Don't think it's simple. With a good strategy during your turn, you can take up to 10 actions in a row. Sounded a little Everdell-ish. A little bit. You will encounter plenty of mysterious ocean creatures and take them to your hand. With their help, you'll explore the unknown locations and rise found resources from the ocean depths to your kingdom. Wouldn't that be raise? You'd raise the found resources, not rise the found resources. Mechanically, this is represented with the help of 3-layered player board. Wow, who wrote this, folks? It's like Arcane Wonders is a U.S. company. Should be mechanically, this is represented with the help of a 3-layered player board and the unique mechanism of card rising. I still think it should be card raising. Aquatica is for 1 to 4 players, ages 14 and up. It plays in around an hour. It's going to carry an MSRP of $44.99. when it arrives November 18th. Gotta say, I dig the artwork. The artwork looks pretty cool, though it looks like we've got a variety of artists, so the style is not uniform throughout. But this could be kind of cool. I like engine building games. I always like engine building games. So I am kind of curious about this. I really am. So it's here's the other thing too. So it's supposed to be like a family engine builder, but then it says ages 14 and up, and it doesn't look like there's a bunch of meeples and tokens and things that little kids could swallow. So I don't know. I don't know. Should be pretty interesting. Arcane Wonders makes some pretty decent games. They don't come out with tons of games, but they do. All right. So the Madman says, for my Savage Worlds group, I gave a Super Benny, Super Jack Benny. I'm thinking. To those that voted my house rule, Super Benny allows a reroll of a crit fail. Ooh, look at that. They are rarely given, but voting is worthy of it. That's pretty funny. That is pretty funny. So, oh gosh, what was the show I just watched? And they were trying to get their hands on an I voted sticker. And gosh, I think it was AP Biology. I think that might have been it. It was kind of funny. Okay, moving right along, arriving also in November. In fact, I believe it comes out on the same date from Grand Gamers Guild is Chiseled. Here's the dope. 3 critics, 1 set of tools, no excuses. Chiseled is a deck sculpting game about sculpting marble. In Chiseled, play as artists in a shared studio working to complete your sculptures by the time any player has checked in with the 3 critics enough times to get rated. Using 1 tool at a time from the shared workbench, remove and accentuate cards from your starting deck of cards to improve its artistic value and please the critics for bonuses. Sounds like you're culling cards out of the deck and not replacing them is kind of what I'm getting the vibe of here. Chiseled features a single-player score challenge mode as well as competitive play is for 1 to 4 players. As I just mentioned, Chiseled is for 1 to 4 players, ages 13 and up, plays in around 40 minutes. It's going to carry an MSRP of $29.99. This also hits stores November 18th. So, Grade A points out, I read today, Ivan Van Norman is running the just announced Critical Role board gaming company arm, Darrington Press. We'll talk about that after the news. All right, so I got 3 role-playing game stories here. So first off, let's jump in because right now available at Humble Bundle is a new Dungeon Crawl Classics bundle. I've got the dope. We've teamed with Goodman Games for our newest bundle. Get ebooks like Dungeon Crawl Classics 67, Sailors on the Starless Sea. Dungeon Crawl Classics 83, The Chained Coffin. Dungeon Crawl Classics, the role-playing game. Dungeon Crawl Classics Annual. Dungeon Crawl Classics 99, The Star Wound of Abaddon. And Dungeon Crawl Classics 81, The One Who Watches from Below. Plus, your purchase will support the American Red Cross. Golden Glory won by sword and sorcery. You're no hero. You're an adventurer, a reaver, a cutpurse, a heathen slayer, a tight-lipped warlock, guarding long-dead secrets. You seek gold and glory, winning it with sword and spell, caked in the blood and filth of the weak, the dark, the demons, and the vanquished. There are treasures to be won deep underneath, and you shall have them. Return to the glory days of fantasy with the Dungeon Crawl Classics role-playing game. Adventure as 1974 intended, with modern rules grounded in the origins of sword and sorcery. Fast play, cryptic secrets, and a mysterious past awaits you. Turn the page. These savings are going to run through November 16th. This is a super sweet bundle from Humble Bundle. You can score $405 worth of PDFs. Of course, it starts off at $1. If I remember correctly, I think you can start off for $1. But you can score everything that's in this bundle, $405 worth of PDFs, 15 bucks. 15 bones. You can get this entire bundle for less than the PDF of the Dungeon Crawl Classics core rules, which are included in this bundle, cost on Drive-Thru RPG. So this is a rocking deal. So this is if you've got any interest in checking out Dungeon Crawl Classics, I have taken a peek at the core rules. I remember, if I remember right, I'm almost positive I have read the Sailors on the Starless Sea, because if I remember correctly, I think it's got a bit of it's like a Lovecraftian Shoggoth creature at the end of it, and it's a funnel adventure where so each player is going to start off with a handful of 0-level characters who will help add to the body count. So this is a very sweet bundle. Very, very nice. I wanted to make sure to share it with you. Just as another example, I'm showing the first, I think it's the Dungeon Crawl Classics Volume 1 Annual. I think that goes for like 27 bucks in PDF. So this is a smoking deal. Kabuki Kid has joined us in chat. Good deal. Got a good chat going tonight. Got quite a few people hanging out, wasting their night with me. Not the entire night, just part of the night. I got another bundle of savings for you because there's a new bundle of holding. I've got the dope on Cult, Divinity Lost. Magician, part the veil and see the truth with our Cult Divinity Lost bundle, featuring the 2018 Helmgast edition of the acclaimed tabletop role-playing game of contemporary horror, Cult. The world around us is a lie, and humanity is trapped in illusion. By discovering the truth about our prison, our captors, our hidden past, and our shadow selves, player characters hope to awaken from their induced sleep and take control of the Matrix. Stolen Destiny. Funded in a February 2016 Kickstarter campaign, the new Cult Divinity Lost updates the original 1991 Cult to the present with an entirely new rules set powered by the apocalypse. But just as before, death in Cult is only the beginning. Escape your nightmares, strike bargains with demons, and try to stay alive in a world of pain. Do want to warn you, Cult has always been and remains a game of visceral and psychological horror. Features madness, sex, brutality, and death. This is not for the kiddies at all. This all-new offer gives you the entire Divinity Lost line to date for an unbeatable bargain price. For just $17.95, which is a little higher than usual for a starter collection, you'll receive all 3 titles in this starter collection with a retail value of $51.50 as DRM-free PDFs, including the complete Cult Divinity Lost core rulebook and its Game Master screen, plus the useful reference deck. If you pay more than the threshold price of $28.85, you'll level up and also get the entire bonus collection with 3 more titles worth an additional $55, including the full-length campaign, The Black Madonna, the story anthology, Taroticum and Other Tales, and the unsettling Cult Divinity Lost tarot cards, which are used in the scenario for Terracum. I think it's Terracum. These savings do run through November 16th, just like the Humble Bundle. 10% of your payment after gateway fees will be donated to the charity chosen by Chris Birch over at Modiphius Entertainment, who does distribute Cult Divinity Lost. And that charity is Vision Rescue. I gotta say, I've never taken a peek at this. I mean, it's obvious when I talk about Call of Cthulhu, I am a big fan of horror role-playing games. But there's some things that I just don't get into. And but I did want to share this bundle because it's a pretty good deal. Because I do know that Cult is another, I don't want to say, well, I guess I will say it. It's a rather pricey digital series of books. So there is that. So Ibram is in chat with us and mentions, yeah, Cult isn't my jam either. Nope. So Arcane Wonders has joined us in chat. So just caught up to address what you said earlier about the wording with Aquatica. I assume you're reading the description from the BGG page. That was written by Cosmodrome. Thank you. There we go. So yes, so that was written by a company that is, there you go. I was going to say, they're out of Russia, and Arcane Wonders has just pointed out that they are out of Russia as well. Hey, I was kind of teasing about the sell sheet info, but everybody in chat will attest that I was saying, hey, this looks like a pretty interesting game. Kabuki Kid says that they have played Cult. They had fun with it, but it was the old stuff from the 90s. They didn't play it too long. All right. Cool deal. Nice. Well, okay. Speaking of kind of odd horror sort of role-playing games, there is a new supplement for Borg. It's available in PDF from my friends over at Free League Publishing. Here's the dope on Ferratory. I think that's how it's pronounced. I don't think it's Ferratory. I think it's Ferratory. Borg Cult Ferratory is a sinful zine full of community-made classes, adventures, and horrible treasures for use with, you guessed it. Hey, wait a second. Why are all these images popping up? I took those out. Although the funny thing is, I was going to say something about the Children of Fear from Chaosium later on. Alrighty. So it is for use with Borg and other rules light dark fantasy games. It includes the monster approaches. Create your own terrible foe with this monster generator. Determine appearance, behavior, abilities, goal, and strange habits. For your new friend, Roads to Damnation. Simple rules for overland travel, including distances, road encounters, village types, and destinations. Eat, Pray, Kill, which didn't Sandra Bullock star in that movie? Eat, Pray, Kill? Maybe it's Uma Thurman. Rules for hunting for food or sport. Also, 54 fully statted monsters, 6 for each major area of the dying world. The Death Ziggurats. A delve into the ruins of a lost temple city where something is awakening. A descent into undead madness. A cosmic necrocrawl at the end of time. The Death Ziggurats is a short adventure about postponing the inevitable. D100 items and trinkets. What can be scored in the darkest of cellars and the rucksacks of the fallen? Use this list of keepsakes and trinkets to find out. There's the Goblin Grinder. The streets of Gallenbeck are overrun with goblins, turning Berga and Papa alike into their own cursed kin. But not to worry, for low cost, the local chemist can whip up a cure. until the price rises anyway. Risks? Of course not. It's tested and guaranteed to work. A cursed urban slaughterfest of an adventure about plagues, panic, and profit. I don't know. I think that's hitting a little close to home. The Tenebrous Reliquary, a D66 table of terrible treasures. The Volt Thrower and the Plasmatic Idol. The Cauldron of Lies and the Zodiac Lung. Okay. Tyrant's Tongue and the Foe Hammer. The Grey Gulf Inn. Welcome to this fine-ish establishment in the bad part of Gullenbeck, where you can eat, drink, and hope to multiply your coins with a game of Three Dead Skulls. There's also Tablets of Ochre Obscurity, ancient, sought-after clay tablets containing powers that only the most enlightened mystic or forlorn philosopher can hope to wield. There's also 4 additional classes: the shape-shifting cursed skinwalker, the alien pale one, the blasphemous dead god's prophet, and the despondent forlorn philosopher. The aforementioned forlorn philosopher. Muir Borg is designed by Pell Nielsen and Johan Noor and is published by our friends over at Free League Publishing. The 64-page PDF zine is available at Drive-Thru RPG for $9.99. Wish I had some more images to share. Funny enough, about a half hour before I went live, Free League sent me a download link from Drive-Thru RPG for, a review copy. Just didn't have time to share more images because that was a lot of stuff that's contained in that book. Well, I should say in that zine. So, A Gray Day said that Darkest Dungeon hit $2.3 million on Kickstarter. The Frostpunk game, the Frostpunk board game, I should say, 2.4 million. HeroQuest is at 2.6 million. So nobody's worried about their jobs. COVID must be only affecting the few working in the nonprofit sector. Lots of people are stressed. There are tons of people who are stressed. I think but then we talked about this last night, that while there are tabletop gaming companies who are in trouble, the industry as a whole has had a very successful year. I know Paizo's done very well as far as their sales. I can only assume Wizards of the Coast is probably doing okay, although we already know that they make such a small portion of Hasbro's profits. Hasbro really doesn't care. But I don't know. I have no idea. So anyway, I was going to mention, I shared a news piece about Call of Cthulhu, The Children of Fear yesterday, and it's a big, over 400-page campaign. And Michael O'Brien touched base with me today because I did get a PDF review copy, which I am going to send to Sammy, because I just do physical books. I do physical products. I do video. I just don't have time to be writing articles. But anyway, Michael O'Brien was talking about how he really does think that in the not too distant future, the Children of Fear is going to be looked at in the same vein as Massive Nyarlathotep. Nice. A Great A says 400 pages of PDF sounds like death. I don't know. Massive Nyarlathotep, I know. Well, the new edition that they came out with, that I did not have an opportunity to see up close. I've only seen it in its slipcase. That's got to be clocking in at about 600 pages. So, it is all modular. I mean, if you've never run Call of Cthulhu, if you've never been a keeper, one thing that Chaosium does that some other companies don't or didn't too often is you step into that book and right away they're telling you, this is what's going to be going on. This is what happens here, 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 here. So you don't necessarily have to study the entire book to get, I mean, it usually helps for you to read the whole thing, but you don't have to have it all like locked in the old memory banks to start running it. So Flaming Huron says, 400 pages sounds like heaven as long as those aren't all the required knowledge. There you go, right. Great A says, me trying to flip through a PDF on my phone during a session would be a disaster. Get a tablet, man. Get a tablet. I use my iPad when I'm running stuff. So, I mean, it's an older iPad. All right. Anyway, Arcane Wonders chimes in. It's kind of weird. So, like Dan from No Enemies Here, right? It's like no enemies here, but we know it's Dan. So, Arcane Wonders, we know that's somebody from the company, but we don't know who it is. So, they mentioned 400 pages is fine, just not in PDF. They need physical pages. So, a Great Ace says, nonprofit sector. Didn't I say that? Didn't I read that? Hey, okay, it's Robert from Arcane Wonders. Cool deal. I used to, I got to be honest, I have not covered much from Arcane Wonders. And even when Tony was there as their PR person, that's funny because I interviewed Tony a few times. Never really did any reviews. So, and oh, there you go. Great A says nonprofit sector means that's why they don't have a tablet. You can get decent tablets for about 50 bones here in the US. I'll tell you what, and I know we're getting off on a tangent as usual. I had mentioned yesterday that I am waiting for a refurbished phone because I had a, actually it was a pretty good phone. I think it's pronounced Huawei? Huawei? You know, that Chinese company that was kind of thrown out of the US? Yeah, that's who made my smartphone. It was a pretty reasonable smartphone. And of course, now it's just kind of crapping out. So I mentioned yesterday that I have ordered a renewed, basically, OnePlus 7 Pro. And I will have to check out to see how this comes, because I got it from a website called it's Back something. Actually, you know what? As weird as this sounds, let me go take a peek here. Back Market. There we go. I started typing in an open browser so the history would pop up. So it's called Back Market, and they carry like computers, tablets, all this other stuff. And my mom had actually pointed out that she would like to get a new tablet. So I'm going to see how this phone is. And if it turns out that this company's pretty cool, because it's kind of a clearinghouse. There's different companies that work through them. So a Great A says, ask Microsoft for a review of a Windows phone. Yeah. That'd be like talking to Google and saying, hey, how about sending me a Pixel 5? I won't have a Google phone anyway, but yes, I could just, and I watch plenty of electronics reviews and stuff. There are a few people that I trust what they've got to say. But funny thing is, especially cameras too, when I got my two better cameras, the Canon as well as the Panasonic, and it's kind of funny because you'll hear these people talking about doing reviews, and especially cameras, they get sent a camera to review it, and then they got to return it. They don't get to keep it. All right, Cameron's out of here. Good to see you, Cameron. We'll catch you next time. All right, so what was the other item that we were talking about that I mentioned we would get into? Oh, Ivan Van Norman, who I know, who knows me, which I guess is probably the more important thing, because I was one of the first people to actually interview him over at Hunter's Books. It was Hunter's Books then. I think it's Hunter's Entertainment. And interviewed him for the first Outbreak when that came out. First Outbreak role-playing game. And I ran into him at the last Gen Con and chatted with him and did another interview. And that was when they were coming out with the second edition of Outbreak, which I thought, myself personally, I thought that was a disaster. Just the presentation of that book. And I mean, if you're not familiar with it, it's a zombie game. And it's supposed to almost be more of a simulation role-playing game as opposed to, you know, you're supposed to be able to, like, if you wanted to play yourself kind of thing or what have you. But the problem was it had all these, like, different ways you could run it if you wanted it less crunchy, super crunchy, but it was all, like, mixed in together with it. It was like, what the? It had these different color codes and nonsense like that, and it was just awful. So anyway, so Ivan's gonna run the Critical Role gaming division. I don't know. I mean, he's kind of like a personality now, right? So, you know, I don't know. Because he's constantly on. I forget what he does. I mean, he talks games. I know that. But I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know what to think. Who knows? Well, they've got the built-in kind of like advantage as far as, you know, not being like they're a new company, but they won't be looked at as an entirely brand new company. So they'll get probably a little more of a benefit of the doubt. But I don't know. I have no idea. You know, if they come out with some cool stuff, fine. I mean, I'll be the first to point out that I thought the Explorer's Guide to Wildmount was pretty interesting. I thought it was fine. It's better than some of the 5e stuff that had come out. So Grade A says lineup of games over the next year with a game coming out this fall. What it kind of reminds me of is the Funko Games aspect. So a couple of years ago, Funko decided they were going to get into the gaming market, and they released some Funko Pops games, which is, I think, my review of the Rick and Morty Funkoverse game, I think, is either the number 1 or number 2 most watched video on the Gaming Gang, and probably the most disliked video, because I didn't think it was a very good game. I just didn't. And other reviewers out there were like, oh yeah, this is great. It's like, no, it's not. Sorry, they're lying to you. At least in my opinion, I thought it was okay. And I thought, you know, the only thing worth buying them for were for the exclusive sized pops inside. But there were some other games that they were coming out with because they had essentially bought Prospero Hall, who, granted, they're not necessarily, I mean, they're known for games, but like the Bob Ross game and stuff like that. So I don't know. They had talked about they were going to have, you know, various different games coming out. Came out with some of the Funkoverse stuff. I think they've come out with a couple of other board games in the meantime, but not like they had indicated when I did an interview with them. So Flaming Heron says, now this will be the most disliked video. Oh, absolutely not. Not even close. Because we still have all those D&D videos. We've got the Rime of the Frost Maiden, where people tell me that, yeah, it can snow at any temperature, which is not true. So Great A says, there's already a thumbs down. Yeah, we know, because there's that one person who swings by, always gives it a thumbs down. And I'll be very honest, because I understand how trolls work. And I mean, I don't care. You know, if that gets somebody off, whatever, more power to you. I get the feeling that when we get the thumbs down, it's somebody who actually hangs out all the time in chat. So would not shock me. Anyway, you know what? It's a gray day. I'm joking. I'm joking. So Kabuki Kid says, yeah, they work for the algorithm too. That's right. Because it's engagement. I usually run around for the show 95% positive. So I don't know. All right. So Grady's laughing because I said it's a great day doing it. All right. So anyway, that is it for the news, of course, tonight. As I mentioned before, as I drop stuff onto the keyboard, hopefully not stopping the stream. So Grady says, I bumped this up to 9 thumbs up. So I've got this Kickstarter preview. You might want to check out if you like games like Magic the Gathering and stuff like that. It was kind of fun. It's kind of fun. So I will have this up a little later on tonight. In fact, I will probably finish putting this up before I finish my, tweaks on the post over at the Gaming Gang for tonight's show. So everybody's like going, okay, thanks, Jeff. I didn't say I'm leaving. I just said that's it for the news. Still have Gates of Delirium review. I kind of held back. I'm going to put that up tomorrow. I've got the Wasson review. Did I bring the new item I just got? I may not have. I may have left that upstairs. I did get a quick start review. Now I can't, off the top of my head, I can't remember what it's called. It was something that I talked about. I shared a news piece about. And the fine folks at the company said, hey, do you want to take a look at the actual physical book? It's like a $5 book, but it's probably, I don't know, about 60 pages, something like that, which, funny enough, I think it's a print on demand from Drive-Thru RPG. But I will point out, it's pretty good quality. Drive-Thru RPG does pretty good print on demand. But there are a lot of adventures and stuff out there that the soft cover, or it may even be like kind of, like rules light games. They're not $5 for the soft cover. They're like $15 for like a 50-page soft cover. So, alrighty. Anyway, I was going to say, I thought I had it floating around down here, but I do not, as Pinky comes swinging on in. Although with the new mic, you really don't catch Pinky, I don't think. In fact, I won't. I'll be quiet. I was going to say, she did it, and then she got quiet. It's because she thinks I'm talking to her, so. All right, anyway, well, I guess everybody wants to wrap up, so that's fine. That's okay. So Great A's like, no, I didn't hear Pinky. Once again, hopefully the audio's okay, because like I said, I changed the EQ on the audio, so I don't know. I'm always messing around with it a little bit. All righty, so if you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And of course, if you do subscribe, ding that notification bell, because not only is it going to tell you when the Daily Dope streams live Monday through Thursdays right here on YouTube, it also inform you when my latest videos are uploaded, including Wasson, coming very soon. It's going to be up in the next couple of days. Scatty Kids Scatty. Ooh. Do my SCTV 3D, right? And of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. All right, everybody who watched live, thank you very much. We had a good chat going. We had Arcane Wonders. We had Robert from Arcane Wonders pop in to kind of clarify some things about the upcoming, what was it? Now, Aquatica? I think that was the title, right? Aquatica? So many games rolling through my head, right? And a very cool chat. Very good. Of course, I do know that there are a lot of people out there who don't have an opportunity to watch live. Maybe you're even watching on Membrex. Certainly appreciate anybody taking some time out to listen to me just babbling on over the ether. All right, so a great A says the audio sounds good. Sweet. Flaming Heron's like, thanks for the stream and putting up with us. I mean, it's more like you guys put up with me. Anyway, everybody enjoy the rest of your Tuesday night / Wednesday morning. And of course, as I have been signing off during this pandemic, this never-ending pandemic, here's hoping everyone out there is being smart and staying safe. See you tomorrow. Oh, you're still here. Well, once again, thank you very much for watching this video. And of course, if you'd like to subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel, click right here. And of course, if you want to see one of the latest episodes of the Daily Dope, click right on up here. And if you want to roll the dice, take your chances, see what YouTube thinks you might like from the channel, give a click right here. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer, and I'll see you next time.